Hello everybody, this is GeneralJannis, and today in Chaos Tactics I'm looking at the first data from the meta-analysis from February from Arks of Omen. How is the state of the meta currently? So with no further ado, let's get started. So today, the 1st of March, the first day of spring officially. So as I said in this video, I will be looking at the 40k meta status, the first analysis from Arks of Omen. How is Chaos faring? What factions are good? And I've been basing this on Warhammer community and 40k stats data. So looking a bit at the faction win rates, not super many games yet to analyze, but I was using the Warhammer community here that they have gathered a lot of the data. And then looking at the top winning tourney lists, if there are some examples for the Chaos factions, also including the World Eaters now making their appearance with a new codex, and then also focusing a little bit on the ascendancy, for example, from Dark Angels, what enemy lists can you be encountering in the current meta. So starting with the faction win rates, the Arks of Omen games from February. So the Warhammer community posted this data. They said it takes data from all types of games and tourneys, and they said themselves it's not a very large data set compared to the Nephilim data, but we can see some things a bit crystallizing here. We see the Genestealers, the Dark Angels, and the Custodes having more than 55% win rates. Harlequins in Ari also at the top here at 55%. And then we start to see some of the Chaos factions. The Chaos Daemons is the top one according to this analysis, 54% win rates. And then we have Chaos Knights at 53%. The new Astra Militarum, also some nice lists out there at 51%. And then we have Death Guard at 48% win rate, and not at the bottom tier as many people were prepared to just give up on Death Guard, losing Arm of Contempt. But with this early data, not a top faction, but at least within the 45-55% win rate. Thousand Sons and Chaos Space Marines are suffering a little bit more, 46% win rate in this early analysis. And if we look at the very bottom, we have Deathwatch hopelessly back, and Adeptus Mechanicus a bit below the 45% win rate. So of course, not all super many games, and maybe the meta will be shifting a little bit, but this is some first indications on the balance of 40k here. Looking then at the winning or top lists from large tournaments for 40k stats, for Death Card there was a few lists, and I really like Noah Neuerdorfer's second place tournament list, and this is for at least 5-game tournaments. I really like that his army name was Death Card is not the D tier, as I was trying also to have a video before Arks of Omen results coming in. I was also thinking that Death Card is not bottom tier, so very nice, very strong from Noah here. Here the list Arks of Omen detachment going on with a lot of elites here, taking the ferrymen to take advantage of the Virion and extend their auras. So for the HQ we have Malignant Plaguecaster and Typhus to get more psychic spells. We have the three 10-man units of Plague Marines. All of them have Blight Launchers, Flails, and Cleavers. The first squad has Meltas. The second squad has Plasmas. Then the last squad has Maces and Axes. All of them have an Icon Sigil Bolter Guy. And the champion, he had the Plasma Gun and the Power Fist. So very close to optimize some of these weapons, as also my analysis shows. So very good combinations here. Maybe some more anti-infantry squad, anti-vehicle squad, and then the mainly pure melee squad here. Some Poxwalkers, a big blob of Blight Lords with Spewers, Combi Flamers, Combi Meltas, Flails, and Blight Launchers. And then we have the Virion Foul Blightsman with the Stench Vods, Taliman to get some CP but without the Tollkeeper, Beoligus Putrifier to give mortal wounds, his Arch Contaminator here also, so he can buff for example, Blight Lords or Plague Marines in melee. And then fast attack, a Spawn, a Mower Drone, two Plagueburst Crawlers in the back to with entropy cannons to add fire, long-range fire support, and 1 Rhino to transport probably this melee squad here. The combi melt on the Rhino, a nice touch. So good results with this type of list for Death Guard here. Congratulations to Noah. Going over to Thousand Suns, there was no top list finish, no top 4 finish for Thousand Suns, unfortunately. So in consolation, I was reading the Thousand Suns from Black Library. Nice, interesting to hear more about the background of the Thousand Suns here. Recommending the book if you haven't read it. Moving on to Chaos Knights, second place finish list here. House Herpetrax, as always. Arks of Omen with, of course, Lords of War to take of course, the Chaos Knights. So here we have a lot of the War Dogs, no big knight, 1 executioner, 2 executioners, 3 units of total 5 carnivores, 3 stalkers. So here we have the 6 Lords of War you can fit in an Arks of Omen, and a 7th unit as a Dreadblade, as auxiliary detachment like Battle Brothers. So here we have 3 brigands that can become infernal Dreadblades. So a lot of war dogs, executioners in the back, brigands adding firepower, carnivores for melee, and the stalkers that can be the jack of all trades of the war dogs. Looking at Chaos Space Marines, previously before Arks of Omen, we had quite a lot of variety of lists and a lot of winning lists. In this one, not super many Chaos Space Marine lists. Interestingly enough, here we have a Word Bearers Legion. Previously, we had a lot of Emperor's Children and Black Legion. So this is an Ark of Omen focusing on the elites and using a lot the new Demon Prince model. Come to think about it, I need to make a review of the Demon Prince for Demons and the Chaos Space Marines because they are stronger than the Death Guard and Thousand Sun equivalents. Could be quite interesting. So here we have the Demon Prince with wings, a Dark Apostle, Lord Discordant on Hellstalker, and a Master of Possession. We have very few troops, only 10 cultists here to hold the backfield, I would assume. 1 big blob of Chaos Terminators, as typical for Chaos Space Marines, with Mark of Slanesh. Master of Executions, the 2 times possessed, a Chaos Spawn, and a Venom Crawler. And here we have a Demon Patrol with Chinch allies to benefit, let's say, from the Ward Bearers being Chaos Undivided. You can add the Chinch demons here. So again, another Demon Prince with wings, two strong Demon Princes. The cheapest troop, 10 blue horrors for the Chinch, and then 5+3 flamers, still being able to do some damage. So some interesting list here for Chaos Space Marines. Looking at the demons here, contrary to some of the other factions, we had quite a lot of lists making some top placements. And Chinch still, the Chinch units are still popular, but more of a mix now. So taking some examples here, a Chinch demon list with Be'lakor, Fate Schemers, Fluxmaster, and 3 Exalted Flamers, and a lot of Flamers. Also the Screamers and the Burning Chariots. So full Chinch list here, getting some good results. Some undivided list with quite a lot of Nurgle here. Interestingly enough, Bloodthirster and the Chainscaster and the Mammon Transfigured, with some Nurglings, Pink Horrors, 20 Plague Bearers, and then we have 3 units of Beasts of Nurgle. And here we have a Battle Brothers Chaos Knight ally with the War Dog Brigands, adding some firepower from the range, while most of the demons here would be more fit for melee. So a nice combo of demons and Chaos Knights. And then a Khorne list for the demons. Here we have Be'lakor also here, Bloodthirster, Karanak, and Skarbrand. Here we have 10 Bloodletters, and then we have Blood Crushers, and then we have the good Flesh Hounds. I should also be looking at those. Those are quite popular. So 20 Flesh Hounds in 3 units here, fast and and strong. Looking at the World Eaters with a new codex making their appearance, we had some two top lists in 40k stats. One, the Disciples of Red Angel. So this is basically like an army of renown of world eaters. Here we have, of course, Angron and the very good Lord Invocatus. A lot of people calling him Lord Avocado. I don't know what's going on here. Here we have a lot of 8-pound. There is no troops in this one. So in total, 11 8-pound, 2 Chaos Land Raiders. Also must be quite fun watching this army go. And then we have a Demon's Ally with Karanak, Bloodletters, and again the Flesh Hounds of the demons. And then another World Eaters list with Angron and Lord Invocatus. Here we have 4 small units of Khorne Berserkers, also for Blood Tithe points, 10 Jackals, and then we have 2 units of 8-pound and 1 unit of Exalted 8-pound. Then we have 3 single spawn for 25 points each. This is nice, 3 blood tithe points if the opponent kills them. And then 2 rhinos to transport some of the berserkers. And here also a Chaos Knight ally instead of Demon allies with 2 Wardog Executioners to add some nice long range firepower against infantry, but nice combo and some nice results from the World Eaters. And then looking at let's say a top enemy list, February focus. I'm looking at Manny Chima's Dark Angels list. Dark Angels, one of the most popular factions now with very high win rates. And here we have an Arks of Omen with fast attack as the main unit. So we have in the HQ 2 Talon Ravenwing Talon Masters. We have 1 troops of 5 Incursors for some more board presence. We have some elite characters, the Blade Guard Ancient, the Apothecary, and the Champion. And then we have 25 Deathwing Terminators, all with Thunder Hammers and Shields, and Cyclone missiles. So as I will show in the next page, very durable and very cheap unit for this durability. And then in the fast attack, 3 Landspeeder Tornadoes with multi-meltas, very cheap way to have a very fast multi-melta across the table. And then 3 Ravenwing Landspeeder Vengeance, also quite cheap, 100 points each, a lot of firepower, a lot of mobility. So cheap and fast land speeders with good firepower can go and contest the board, and 25 very durable Terminators with that can be further buffed with the characters. For example, the Apothecary can give them a 6+ feel no pain. So looking at Deathwing Terminators, the durability at 33 points per model with a Storm Shield. We have a 2+ save with a 4+ invul save, and as the Brotherhood for the Death Angels, they always have Transhuman, so they can not be wounded on 1, 2, 3s, only on a 4+. So this makes them very durable for their cost. Here we see with no point correction how many shots does it take to kill a Deathwing Terminator compared to a Blightlord Terminator and a Scarab Terminator here. And we can see as they are toughness 4 only, so for strength 4 type of weapons, the Blightlord Terminators are better versus damage 1 weapons. The Scarab Terminators are more durable, but as we increase the strength of weapons, especially going to some heavy weaponry that we see more and more on the table, cheaper multi-meltas and cheaper heavy weapons for a lot of units. Here we see the Deathwing Terminators with a transhuman physiology, not being able to be wounded by 1, 2, 3s. They can tank more meltas and heavy things like that compared to even the Blightlords. The Scarab Terminators not as durable versus heavy weaponry. So here we see for light weapon fire, the Blightlord Terminators are more durable. But if we do the point correction, because you can get, let's say, more Deathwings on the table than Blightlords, so if we correct 200 points here, we see that for heavy weaponry, we have much better durability for the Deathwing Terminators than the Blightlords, and for the light fire, they are quite similar. And again, with the Apothecary and some other shenanigans, they can be buffed even further. So not easy to take them, let's say, off the table. And then if we look at the other part, the Landspeeder Tornado, the damage output for 70 points, you get an assault cannon and a multi-melta, and the multi-melta at 12-inch range, and the heavy weapons here at Devastator Doctrine that the Space Marines now can choose to keep for the entire game. The AP is improved. They can do some nice damage, especially at 12 inches where the multi-melta is doing d6 plus 2 damage. So we see here the orange line is 12-inch damage across a variety of targets. The yellow is at Devastator Doctrine, and we can see something like 3-4 damage on a 30 blow drone or Mephitic Blightholder here, 5-6 damage on a Rhino. So two of them would be able to take out an more expensive, let's say, some expensive counter unit. And with 16-inch move for the Landspeeder Tornado, it can get where it wants to be able to fire the weapons, and it can hide and do a lot of shenanigans there. Looking at the Landspeeder Vengeance, the damage output here, this one is 100 points. It's a bit more expensive. It has a 12-inch fly move, but it has the plasma battery that can be supercharged. Then it becomes a damage 3, so it can do quite a lot against 3-wound enemies, like, for example, aggressors, eradicators, or other Terminators other than the Death Guard, Blight Lords, etc. But it's like a Plague Marine killer here. And again, it can fly and it can add a lot of damage, and especially in Devastator Doctrine, AP is -4, and then there is no save for typical 3+ save enemy models like Intercessors or Plague Marines or something like this. That you basically don't have a save and you just start picking up models. And then finally, a comparison to other vehicles damage output. So we have the Landspeeder Tornado and the Vengeance here. The damage per 100 points here across all the targets you could see in my previous graph. So 4.6, 4.8 damage, or 5.6 damage here at 12-inch range. And comparing this to, for example, a Mephitic Blightholder, much less damage output. The 30 blow drone or Forge Fiend with autocannons and ectoplasmas, even three flamers now that they no longer auto hit. They don't have as high damage output per point as the land speeders here. Here we're also comparing to some Chaos Knights War Dogs. Again, the damage output of this unit is very high. The speed, of course, very big advantage to hide and to get into range to shoot. They are not as durable as some of the other options, but with this very good mobility, they can use that to their advantage. So some summary and final thoughts. We have seen now some of the initial performance from Arks of Omen. We have the Armor of Contempt is gone, but the point changes and everything is shifting the meta. Dark Angels and Genestealer cults and Custodes are on the rise. The Dark Angels and especially Space Marines as well. The doctrines, they can select what they want. They have very durable Terminators and these fast attack options, so there's probably something to think about when list building your Chaos list. How can you handle this type of enemies? The Chaos Demons have the highest winning rates of Chaos so far. Death Guard is not a bottom tier, quite in the middle, can fight a bit. Thousand Suns and Chaos Space Marine are suffering a little bit more, but it's still early days, so let's keep all fighting for our beloved Chaos factions. And with these words, this concludes this first look at Arks of Omen. Let me know. I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts are about this. And as always, if you like this video, please press like and subscribe my channel. If you want to further support my effort, please visit my Patreon page or become a YouTube member. And as always, you can find a link to the Discord channel where you can discuss lists for the various factions and have a nice FAQ and discuss with other people from the community. So with these words, GeneralJannis signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.